too. And those would be aching for months and months. Brian O'Branahan, you are the finest fiddler in Ireland, it's sure. And now we've had the music for the dead man. Now it's time to say the prayers. Fetch a priest. The woman stands up and says, oh, no. You don't need to fetch a priest. Haven't we got the finest priest in the whole of Ireland here? And they will turn and look at, oh, no, you're making a serious, no, I couldn't possibly, it's true, I do go to church occasionally, and I do like it in the Latin, I prefer that, I don't know what it means, but I like the sound of it, no, and the next thing, wait, there he is, dressed in a black cassock. And he's got a fellow on one side of him swinging that incense. And on the other side there's a fella holding the Holy Cross. And then he finds himself between the two men, intoning the prayers and the hymns, and he's leading the congregation, and their men are weeping, and the women are patting him on the shoulders there too, and at the end of it all, they come up to him and say, it is an honour indeed that you came here. Indeed, if the Pope was here himself, he couldn't have done a finer job. But don't let anyone else hear you saying that, eh? And they all say, thank you, Brian. Thank you for the prayers for the dead man. Now it's time to put the fella in his coffin. And there is the black box with the lid off. And four men, they go to the dead man and they gently lift him from the table. And they put him down into the and then they shut the lid. And then the four men, they pick that coffin up. And they got two men at the back. And they got two men at the front. And they're about to go out of the room when someone says, hey, who chose those men there to carry the coffin to the graveyard? For sure, one of them's legs is much too long. Look at him, he'll have an uncomfortable ride on the way to the graveyard. We don't want him biffing and banging his head there. It might wake him up there. He's got to rest in peace in that grave there. Do something about that fella's legs. Somebody fetch a doctor. Turn to him and someone says, but Brian, could you lend a hand to that perhaps? And then a woman says, sure, Brian O'Branahan, isn't he the finest doctor in the whole of Ireland? He'll be the one to shorten the man's legs. Right, no. And the next thing, he's got a saw in one hand, and he's got some tongs in the other. And the four men have put down the coffin. And the fellow who's got the longest legs, he lies down on the table and says, well, if you're the finest doctor in Ireland, Brian O'Branahan, I won't mind you sawing my legs to make them shorter. And Brian finds himself going towards the man there. And, why, the teeth of the saw dig into his skin. And then they go through the tendon. And then through the bone, and then through the marrow, and then through the bone, and then through the skin on the other side. And he takes one leg up there, and he does the same to the other leg too. And then the fellow on the table says, Brian, have you started yet? And Brian says, open your eyes, fella. And he shows him the two legs. One moment, stay there, fella. And he goes to the other three men there, and he lines up the legs against each and every one of those 6 legs, and he finds, of course, wow, none of us are completely symmetrical. I mean, cut yourself in half there and see if you're equal on all sides. And he finds there that he needs 2.5 inches off of this leg and 2 3/4 off the other there. And back he is at the table with his saw. And he saws off one chop and gives it to the dog. And he saws off the other chop and chucks it outside the window for the pig. And then he goes to the fellow on the table and he puts the 2 legs there just below the knee. And the fellow jumps down from the table and says, oh, I have had shoes more uncomfortable than these new legs of mine. Brian, you're the finest doctor in the whole of Ireland, and that's a fact there too. But now it's time to get this fella to his grave. And the 4 men now, they pick up that box and they begin to walk out of the house with all the others in line behind, and with the pretty Colleen walking side by side with Brian, staring into his eyes. And if there was a drop of water lying on top of that coffin lid, why, he wouldn't know which way to roll. And they get towards the graveyard, and Brian's thinking, how do you get into this place here? There's no gateway. There's no doorway there. How are they going to get in? And the men with the coffin, they just keep walking towards the wall. And then, when they get to the foot of it, why? Don't they just begin to walk up it like they're flies there? I tell you what, that drop of water on top of the coffin was seriously confused now. And the 4 men are walking up, and some of the other men are women, and Brian and Branahan too, side by side with a pretty Colleen too. They're walking up like lizards to the top of the wall, and when they get to the top, why, all the graves are down below. And the flagstones and the tombstones open, and the gravestones start rocking from side to side, and hands come out of the grave, and voices come calling, "Give it to me! Give it to me! Give it to me!" But over in the corner of the graveyard, one of them is open silently, and the 4 men with the black box, they heave and they hoe and they throw that box up into the air. And the hands are scrabbling, trying to get it, to put it down into their grave there. But then, don't the wings of doves come from the top of the coffin, and it skitters above the outstretched hands, and then in silence falls into the grave. And then the soil is filled on top. And the grass, but even looking at it now, it seems as if it would need a good cut. And the men and the women on the top of that wall, well, they shake each other's hand, and they pat each other on the back, and a little peck on the cheek for the women too. And they think 'tis a job well done. And they look to Brian, and they say, "Brian and Branahan, what a fine fellow you are indeed. What a lucky company of people we were to meet you. What stories we'll tell to our children there." And the pretty woman, she turns to Brian and says, "Oh, Brian, Brian, Brian." She reaches up her arm to put it around him, and her lips are puckered, and so are his. And just at that moment, the wind comes on his trousers, and the coat smells of blackening, and it flies from the south, the east, the north, and the west, and he comes down to the ground with a bump. And there he is, at the well. And there's the flagstone, still wet from the water running down the side of the bucket. And he picks up the handle, and he goes back up the garden path, and then he goes into the room, and there's the old man and the woman, and they stand up when he comes in, and they say, "Well, Brian, did you get it?" "Yes, I did. I got the water, but I tell you what happened then? When I went to get the water, when I got up in the air, and I went this way, and I went that way, and it tells the story that I've just told to you. And at the end of it, they say, Brian and Branahan, it was worth the wait there, you joshing with us, if you couldn't tell a story. Oh, Brian and Branahan, why don't you have a nip of our finest whiskey? Why don't you have some of last week's pig? And tonight you'll sleep on a goose feather mattress." And that's what he did. He went up the stairs, and he blew out his candle, and off he went to sleep. And when he woke up, there was no bed, there was no house, but there he was in the fairy glade, and beside him were 2 bundles of rods cut to the right length and wrapped in ribbons so he could carry them home upon his back there. And that's just what he did. He walked back home, and his wife Mary said, "Brian, why are you back so soon? I've only just seen you go down the garden path, and now you're coming up here with 2 bundles of rods. Well, what's the meaning of this?" And Brian said, "I'll tell you what the meaning of this is. Come in. Come and sit at the stool beside the fire, and I'll tell you everything that's just happened to me." And he did tell everything that happened to him, to his wife Mary. And Mary told that story to my grandfather, and I just told that one to you.